Hey, this week on Larry Smith's Outdoors, we're up on Beaver Dam Lake. I haven't been up here, you guys, in probably at least 4 or 5 years. And the word is the perch are on fire. So what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna find 5 to 7 feet of water. We're gonna anchor up and dead stick. That means we're gonna fish right straight down over the side of the boat, no bobbers, just straight line it down. And we'll see. I've heard rumors of some big perch up to 12, 13 inches. We'll see what happens. Hey, I've got my good friend Amy Benton in the boat today. We pulled her out of work. Hopefully she doesn't get fired, but so we'll see if a little lady luck prevails today.
I'm in the teacher's chair. I have to ask you questions.
I'm not the teacher.
You're the teacher. Because see, I got out my book Fishing for Dummies last night, Dan, because I've never been fishing. So my friend Larry's going to teach me how to fish today. So I thought I should know a little bit so I didn't look quite so stupid. So I got out my book Fishing for Dummies, okay? So when I was a little younger, when we fished in my brother's lake, we always had to have a popsicle stick with us because if your fish wasn't bigger than the popsicle stick, you couldn't keep it. So I'm hoping that we're going to catch a little bigger than this today.
What am I in for today is what I want to know.
But this is the one that I want to know. So there's 2 types of fishermen. There is, as this book says, there is the fisherman and there is the angler. So which one am I today? Are you the fisherman and I'm the angler, or am I the angler and you're the fisherman, or how does it work?
I guess we'll find out in about 10 minutes when I put that anchor down and see who starts catching what.
Oh, so you're not going to put me on the end of the anchor?
No.
Oh, okay.
We
Just
need
checking.
you on top today.
Just checking.
Right.
Okay, that's all.
We got a couple different rigs here that we're going to go with. And this is a slip sinker. And basically we're just, like I said, we're going to dead stick right over the side of the boat here. Got it all wrapped up so they don't get all tangled. And we've got kind of a variety of bait today. Redworms. And I heard the key is, and I usually don't believe in this, is that you got to cover the hook. I usually always say that doesn't mean anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the hook all the way up, and I'm going to leave that redworm so it dangles over the edge. Aim, you see that?
Okay.
Okay, and basically what we're going to do here is we're going to use the rod holders to start with and see how that goes. So we're going to just set them like that. I think what we'll do here is let's go like all the way around. Okay, and basically we're going to go right down to the bottom. A lot of algae, big algae bloom on this lake. Reminds me of kind of a peat ball.
How do you know you're on the bottom?
Because you can see your line go slack. See, now watch. So you can, if you push the tip down, see, there's the line slack, okay? So I have about from the sinker to the hook is about 7.5 inches. So just watch, and what's gonna happen, this would be like a bite right here. And you see that, and just real easily, see, you gotta turn the reel to the side, slide it out of the rod holder without trying to move it too far, and then set the hook. All right, Amy, now we got all the rods set up here. I got one more I'm gonna put in the water. And I know this is your first time, you really don't get a chance to fish, you're always working. So you went and got a fishing license, right?
I did, and you know what the coolest part about it was, because it's the first time that I've ever bought a license, it only cost me $5 for the year.
That's it, $5 for a first-time
$5
fish?
if you're a first-time fisherman.
Or a fisher girl.
Or a
lady.
fisher girl.
Right,
That's
or a fisher, yeah. That's awesome. I think that's a great thing that the state's doing.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's make that well worth it.
Let's catch some fish.
Let's get them.
Ah,
There we go.
nice.
Finally, yeah.
Nice.
That's how it's done. So you kind of, you know what? I told her you had to be quiet because she was talking so much before you couldn't catch anything. So I told her, if you be quiet for at least 15 minutes, we'll get a fish. And that was about 12 minutes.
He's a dink. Okay, we'll see.
All right, that's the first
We'll
one. First one. Oh, that's a better one. There we go, you guys.
Well,
Hey,
now
hey,
you're
hey.
at a spot. Hey, I really was quiet too. 2 times I was quiet.
Right. And now I'm beating you. Two to zip, girl.
Yeah, you are. I got it.
Wine.
It's there.
Oh, gosh. Look at that.
I got it! I got it! I got it!
That's not even worth getting.
Take it off.
Okay, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Where's my popsicle stick? We can keep it if it's bigger than the popsicle stick.
Oops.
That was not nice, Larry Smith. That was my first fish. It's a big one.
You gotta set the other one
We
down.
got a big one. We got one. Yes.
It's getting better. They're getting better. There you go. Good job. They're getting bigger. You know, we did move around you guys quite a bit already today. This is about our 4th stop here, and we started in about 7 feet of water, and we worked at 2 different spots there, and then we came up to 5, had a few bites, and you know, that's the big thing about when you're pan fishing is to, got the hook, to be very mobile. And I give a spot about 15 minutes and then move on to the next.
That's a big one.
It's not big yet, but it's a nicer one. Yep,
We're getting bigger, and I'm beating him now.
Right, she is. We won't talk about that. Make sure you edit that out of there.
I don't care how big they are, as long as I catch more.
Hey, you know, it's such a beautiful day, Amy, that a friend of mine called me, and he's got all his meetings done, and I think he's playing a little hooky from work, and he wants us to go pick him up. So we'll see if he helps us bring us a little bit more luck too. So a little bit more competition in the boat for us. So we're gonna pick up our friend Jeff Dazinski and bring him out and see what happens. He definitely brought us a lot of luck a couple weeks ago when we were up walleye fishing. We'll see how he does on the perch. So stay tuned. Hey, sorry to interrupt some awesome perch fishing, but we're gonna fly over to Green Lake. There's only a couple of days left of lake trout fishing, and Lucy, Captain Lucy, is saying that she wants to get a lake trout before the season closes. So let's see what happens this afternoon and see if we can catch a couple of big lake trout here on Green Lake. Just hooking up a leader here, little fluorocarbon 10-pound test line. I'm going to give Lucy a lucky jigging repella, and I'm going to use a blade bait. It's always kind of nice to mix things up when you're fishing lake trout. You know, I've never done as well in the afternoons and the evenings as I do in the mornings, but we're almost to the end of the season. I quick picked her up from school, and we've got about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before it gets dark. We're gonna see what happens. You got him. Keep going, got him? Boy, that wasn't 2 seconds that took. I can just see them, they're loaded now. I don't think it's a real big one. So take it kind of slow with them, because the little ones, so you can let them go. Yep, ooh, there you go. All right. You know what? She wasn't even in the water for less than 3 minutes and she got a lake trout. Now, you know, again, I always say that about these lake trout is that you want to, when they're small like this, you want to wind them up slow so they go back down. And get them unhooked. Boop, back down the line. Is it a good one? A little bit better. Come on, Luce, let's see what you got. Keep reeling. Oh, a little better. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a little nicer lake trout there. Ooh, not quite big enough either. They gotta be 17 inches. This one, see how she wound them up nice and slow? Let's get them back in right away. All right, good job. Drop her on the bottom. She's kicking my hinder. You can see Lucy's line is right here. That's where she's jigging. You know, we're in 70 feet of water and she's right about 65 feet right in there. So I just seen before a lake trout come right up to her bait and then she can get ready for it. So it works out nice having that locator like that. The old hummingbird. Keep jigging. Hey, get off that phone too. Hey, Lucy, guess what? It's my turn finally. And you better hope that mine's not bigger than yours. You know what? I think I can net them. good trout right there. Guys, that one moneymaker. I tell you, I love this lake. This thing has got so many trout in it, you know, and it's kind of, you know, unique. There's not too many places I know, inland lakes like this, how you can come here and catch these lake trout. You know, it's a great lake trout lake. It's a great walleye lake. You know, bass fishing is fantastic. But, you know, Lucy, you wanted to come after school and try to catch a lake trout because there's only 2 days left of the season. And so far, you are beating me 3-1, but it's not over yet. And you know what? We might not go in until I'm ahead. Camera curse. We've had a camera curse on lake trout for some reason. We can come out here and catch everything else, walleyes, bass, but trying to catch a lake trout with a camera in the boat, for some reason, was a tough deal. And now we've already got 3 in the boat, and we've only been out here for about 15 minutes. So.
More like 30.
Shut up and fish,
more like an hour.
dang it. You know, you can come out and troll these lake trout, and a lot of people do troll it, and it's a lot of fun too. But you know, when we come out and fish lake trout, we prefer to jig them. And you know, the key things to jigging for lake trout is obviously is to mark them. I don't stop and start fishing them until I actually mark the fish. Most of the time, the fish are going to be in anywhere from 60 to 120 feet of water, the fish that we're targeting, the lake trout. And I like to use a type of super braid line like fire line or nano fill, high vis, so I can see that line jump if it's real windy out. And what I do is I use 10-pound test, and I'm using nano fill on these rods today, and I've got again the high vis on there, and I splice in about a 4-foot leader of 10-pound test fluorocarbon. And you definitely got to have the fluorocarbon on here, that clear leader, and because these fish definitely are a little bit line shy, so make sure you have that. The other key is that we're usually using some type of blade bait or plastics, or we're using like a jigging repeller. And when you're jigging so aggressively like this, you got to make sure you have a really good ball bearing swivel in there, because otherwise you're going to get a tremendous amount of twist in your line. Now, right now we're fishing about 70 feet of water. Lucy is 4 cranks to 5 cranks off the bottom, so she's about 6 to 8 feet off the bottom, and I'm right on the bottom. So what you do when you do come out, make sure you vary your lines. Don't make sure that if you got 1 or 2 or 3 people in the boat, that not everybody's down fishing the same water column. So definitely stagger them lines out. And something else I've noticed, you know, in the fall like this, it's not quite as crucial because the fish are really starting to pack up real heavy, and this season does close at the end of September. The size limit on lake trout is they have to be 17 inches. What I like to do too is if I'm jigging and all of a sudden I feel that I don't think it's a real big fish, I slow my retrieve way down when I'm bringing the fish up so I don't blow up the bladders on them, so they're releasable. Another key thing right there. But what happens is that when you hook one lake trout, a lot of times it spooks the other ones. So what I'll do is when I hook one, what I'll do is I'll actually just pick up my baits and move the boat, you know, 50 to another 100 yards away. And, you know, and when I mark them, start fishing again. I very seldom stay in the same spot except for late in the fall like this because the fish are so packed up. Get your rod that way. Nice fish. There you go, Luce. Look at that. That is a nice fish. Definitely a nice fish. Nice job. That is a nice fish for sure. Look at that. You gotta hold him up. Hold up real nice. There you go. Hey, gotta show your face. She got it. She got the nice lake trout. Here, holding him up. Nice lake trout. Hey, what do you say, Lucy? You worked hard, I tell you. You know what? There's only one more day left, and tomorrow the winds are gonna blow like crazy. And we said, you know what? She called me and said, hey, are you coming home? I said, I was on my way home from Winnebago, and she says, I want to catch a lake trout before the season closes. There we go.
I was at 4 runs.
Perfect.
Thank you, Dad, for taking me out fishing today for some lake trout after school.
Hey, let's go back and see how the perch action's going out on Beaver Dam.
Come on, JJ. Skipping a little work today, huh? Got all your meetings done? Oh, here we go. Oh, hey, I don't think this is a perch. If it is, it's a mount. There it is, yep. Oh, a big old, hope he doesn't break my line. Oh, big old bullhead. Hey, I'll take anything as long as it's pulling on the other end. Here, Amy, I'm gonna put him on your side.
Yeah.
On the rocket bob.
On the rocket bob. There
That's
you
a good
go.
fish.
Yeah.
Gotta like that. Finally.
That's a nice 10-inch perch right
Take about
there.
25 grams, buddy.
That guy. Nice and fat. Perfect fish. Perfect eating size fish.
I got a bullhead, I think, again. Look at that thing. Oh, look at this guy. You got a perch? This is a bunch of BS. Dang it, Jeff. What is going on here?
Yeah, nice
Nice,
perch.
yeah.
Nice, another
Look at
nice
that,
perch.
nice bullhead. Oh, here we go. All right, Jeff, I got a perch finally, not a bullhead. All right. You know, the key to this perch fishing, it seems like about every half hour we've been moving, and you know, we'll pick up 2 or 3, and all of a sudden it'll go dead on us, and then we'll move again. And now we've been in this spot for about 45 minutes, and now things are starting to happen pretty good.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
There
look
you
at that
go.
one.
Yeah, hold that one up to the camera.
Look at that guy.
That's a nice perch. You know, it's funny, Jeff, that we didn't hear about this bite till about 3 weeks ago. We just couldn't get over here, but this bite has been going out here on Beaver Dam all summer. And I talked to the guys over at the bait shop over there. They said it's very unusual to see this many perch come out of a body of water like this. Usually it's a lot spottier than what it is, but this year it's been very consistent. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to is ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
So this is gonna be one of the first spots I hit through the ice for perch and crappies.
Gotcha.
You know, a really cool part about when you're fishing out here or fishing anywhere, I had put on this boat as soon as I got it, is I had a talent put on here, because when I'm catfishing or if I'm perch fishing or whatever I'm doing, as long as I want to stay in one spot, I have this talent here and I don't have to drop an anchor down, and it just makes it so much faster too. And I don't get to swing in the boat either. It just locks it right straight down and doesn't move back and forth. And it's real simple to operate. So basically, this one right here will go down to 12 foot. So this is where I'm gonna fish right now. All I gotta do is hit the button and it'll tell you right there. Now we're at 6 feet, okay? And it'll lock that boat right down. And again, when I want to move, and I've done this over and over, I don't know why, maybe because I'm getting older, you forget to lift it up, and that's probably the worst thing about it, is that, you know, you'll start the motor up and all of a sudden you'll hear it drag a little bit. It's amazing how durable that shaft is on here. I haven't broke one yet, and I probably forgot to bring it up about 10 different times, but when it's time to go, it's real simple again. Just hit the switch. You can see it coming all the way up. Boom, that's done. Come on. I'll tell you, they come in waves, and all of a sudden all your rods are dancing, all the bait's gone. What do you got? Oh, you're way over by me. Oh,
Oh, here
Oh,
we
that's
go.
a
This
nice
is what we're
fish.
looking for.
yeah. You wanted
You're lining everything.
I think that's my fish. You know, that's a respectable perch. That's probably right around 10 inches, Jeff. That's as far as I'm concerned, when you're gonna keep perch, that's a perfect size right there. You know, Jeff, you know as well as I do that I'm just looking at your shirt and laughing how dirty you got from all them fish you've been catching. But, you know, when it comes to perch fishing or bluegill, any kind of pan fishing, you know, you want to have a good assortment of baits. And sometimes it's this kind of a Gens bug or a rat finky or, you know, some type of a spoon. And having a good variety and a different sizes and colors, I think is key. You know, so I like to have quite a bit of stuff in here for them. And this is just, you know, a minute
part of our arsenal. You know, it's one thing about fishermen, it's kind of like women in shoes. It just seems like you never can have enough, you know? You just keep buying and keep buying. And you know, a lot of times I get a little bit partial to some of the stuff that I don't even want to use it. It looks so nice, and I like to keep it, you know, in a safe place where my kids can't get at it.
I would say that's the way my wife's closet looks most days.
With her shoes, huh?
Or jewelry. Jewelry.
No way, man.
What?
I'd rather collect horses and dogs than jewelry and shoes.
You're a rarity.
No, that's another decent perch. I'll tell you, Jeff, I think I might be starting to gain a little ground up to you. I know I'm a little bit behind, maybe about 6 or 7 good ones, but I'm definitely gaining a little bit of ground. We haven't caught any real monsters today, which I've heard they've been getting some nice ones out of here. You know, some of them 12, 13 inchers. But that's still a respectable perch for sure. Good eater.
A simple technique that Larry showed me that is phenomenal. And that's simply when you get done fishing, especially when you got a lot of rods, you just simply take that line, you twist it around twice. You kind of twist around like that. And the beauty of that is they won't tangle up when they're all together. Kind of like Larry
like this. There. You know, when you're fishing, you know how it is if you're throwing your rods in the car or you got a ton of rods. You know, when you come out on a body of water and you're gonna fish perch for a while, and then you're gonna jump and fish something else, you know, especially like a lot of times I go to Green Lake, I'm fishing from northern perch, you know, lake trout, everything out there, and sometimes some walleyes. But anyways, when you have a lot of rods, even I just have 4 here, and you know how easy they get tangled. Well, when you have them wrapped properly, all of a sudden they just come apart every time just like that. So again, it just saves the hassle when you're traveling somewhere in the car, or if you just want to throw a bunch of rods together and you're going to the lake. Otherwise, when you get to the lake, you know how it is, they're always tangled together. So just give them about 2 to 4 wraps, and it'll keep that line tight and you won't have that problem. Hey, you know what? We had a great afternoon out here on Beaver Dam, and thanks Amy, thanks Jeff. Amy, you probably would have caught more fish if you weren't on your phone all the time and working, you know. Hey, now what we're gonna go do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna show how you clean a perch, and we're gonna scale them and butterfly them, and we'll show you how that is. But it's time to throw the boat on the trailer and head for home. Hey, you know, we don't keep fish a lot, but perch are something that I just love to eat. And when I do keep perch, I like to butterfly them. Just like when you go to a restaurant, and I've got this really cool scaler I got from a client of mine, and it works real well. So what I do is that I'll scale them. This thing is like, I don't even know if they make this scaler anymore, but it's definitely the best one that I've ever seen. So I'll just scale them down real quick. So I got them all scaled down. So what I do is just cut behind the head right here and run down just like you always would do, right to the tail, okay? And then go around the rib cage, and I kind of pull and cut at the same time. Just go like this. Come down, around, make a slight cut right there. Flip it over, go to the back. Along that edge of the back, punch the knife through. Again, I just make the first couple incisions right here when you're touching the rib cage itself. Okay, then I just kind of pull on it. Same thing, important to cut far enough forward and just kind of pull, and it'll pull itself apart again. Quick rinse it off, and there you go. Hey, we had a great day of perch fishing today. It was something a little bit different. We ended up keeping about 25 perch, and boy, we sure got a pile of perch here and a couple really great meals. Hey, remember to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, and you can always go on our website if you have any comments, Larry Smith Outdoors. And remember, it's always a great day to be alive. This is my favorite part all the time.
Thanks, Dad, for taking me fishing.
We're gonna look at the camera.
Thanks, Dad, for taking me fishing. Thank you, Dad, for taking me fishing.
You're welcome.
Dad, what are you doing?
Hey, it was a tough day today fishing on Lake Winnebago, but I can't think of a better way to wind down and relax and sharpen my skills than reading the Badger Sportsman. It's a far from working experience.